Hey, welcome everyone. Good Saturday to all of you because I know it's kind of Saturday evening for our guest today, Saturday morning for me, and then of course, depending on where you're listening from, could be even Sunday, I guess, at some point. But I think we go through this a lot when I try to say good morning or good evening. But anyway, we are here on a Saturday for a special interview today, so we'll without further ado, bring Frank in here. Hey, Frank, how's it going?
Yeah, good. All good. How about you?
How good, good. So, I just want to make sure. Like, I know we get a lot of this stuff in our emails and stuff, and they don't really tell us how to pronounce certain things. So, how is the band pronounced?
Yeah, it's like we say Atmoran, but it's the Dutch way. But
Gotcha.
there are a lot of pronouncers for that. Everybody calls it differently, and it's all okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. So I just like to just like to know because I know with the American language and translating stuff, it gets a little tricky sometimes. So,
Yeah. How would you say that?
when I looked at it, I just thought it was Atmoran. So
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
no, yeah. So that's why I always ask because I don't want to kind of I really don't want to be disrespectful and like you
You're
know.
good, man.
And I know your last name is probably not pronounced the way I would say it either. So that's
it's
why I
good.
just
It's
yeah,
also
yeah,
good.
yeah. So it looks like Vander Plague maybe.
Yeah, it's like the G is like a kind of thing for the
Ah, I
you
got you.
know,
Okay,
and it's Van der Ploeg.
Vander
But
Ploeg.
it's
Okay,
it yeah, yeah.
gotcha. Okay, I love learning. Like this is one of the things I love about the show is talking to a lot of bands from different parts of the world and then learning these things. It's really cool to learn languages and just in general the ways of the land. I guess in some
Yeah,
instances, but, but
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
guys
And we are from Holland, but we don't speak Dutch. We speak Frisian. That's our language.
yeah, okay,
It's a
yeah.
second language from Holland.
Yeah, so I didn't know that because we have had bands on from the Netherlands before that have because I assumed that they were Dutch and was talking and they said, oh no, we don't speak Dutch, we speak Frisian. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So which is great. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of countries where you or that are like that where you kind of don't know who speaks what. So
yeah.
I guess, so do you have to learn both of those languages there to communicate or?
Uh, well, my mother language is just Frisian. So you when you grow up, you talk just Frisian. And when you go to school, you learn some Dutch things, and but not everybody is speaking here Frisian. So it's a mix
Right.
from Dutch and the Frisian language.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so how difficult is that? Is there a lot of similarities with the languages where it's pretty understandable if you speak one or the other to the opposite?
No, it's just a really different language. If you're from Amsterdam, you don't understand anything of Frisian language.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Makes
But if you
sense.
got arrested, like in Amsterdam, you can do it in your Frisian language. Uh, if you are like a dick or something, and you,
Right. Oh, that's what. Well, first off, I hope I never get arrested in Amsterdam.
no,
But I think it's kind of hard to get arrested in Amsterdam with all the stuff that they have legal there. But
yeah, just don't be a dick, and it's all gonna be okay.
that's pretty much a standard thing I think throughout the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah,
Just don't be a dick. So kind of jumping into to the band, I noticed you guys you had a former name Sackback.
yeah,
So I was kind of curious. Did you guys ever have any recordings under that banner or?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
We made a whole CD, and
okay.
but you got to understand, we were like 13 years old at that point,
All
and
right.
it was like friends. come on and play and do some cover songs, and then uh, we realized we needed our own songs. So we got the guys together, and we write some songs, and we recorded it and put it on a CD. And yeah, that came out, and that was really fun. And then keep on going, and later in the years, we thought, yeah, we need to change the name because it didn't mean something. It just came up, and yeah, you get to go with that.
Yeah, and then I noticed the Atmoran or Atmore. How do you say it again?
Atmoran, but Atmoran is also good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I was noticing it kind of and that kind of came from you guys having a fandom with Kiss. Is that what I read or?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. A guitar player is just crazy with Kiss. He's got a fully arm tattooed with Kiss. So it's like four times Gene Simmons on his hand, and like Paul Stanley is there, and the Kiss logos and the Japanese
Oh
logo.
wow.
But our the guitar player who played first with us, he was a gamer, and there was like a game with an island called Atmoran, and we just like that. And
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
uh, but get a band name who isn't picked,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean
Yeah,
that's a good. I mean, fictional. You know, if you're talking about fictional stuff like video games or comic books or something like that, I mean, it's pretty. I say it's pretty common to have something that's unique if you pick something out of that because not everybody, like not everybody probably knows that game or plays that game. So,
no,
so it's especially in the with your comrades in the music business, they probably don't know
no,
that, or they're shooting themselves going, "Damn, why didn't I think of that?"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so, so is the Sackback recordings available to listen to anywhere? Because I was trying to find anything, but I didn't find anything. So,
Online, it's difficult, I think, to get through that. Yeah, there's something on YouTube, but it's all the
oh,
live
okay, okay,
recordings. We play in a couple of bars, and that's might be on YouTube. But the album,
okay.
I think it's no.
You gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just personally like to hear like where the band started and then where they're at now, just so I
yeah,
can hear the growth, in the band.
yeah,
Which I mean, you can tell the growth from the EP to the new album. I mean, you can tell in
yeah.
there too that there's been a lot of growth there. So just in what was that 19? I think it was the EP.
2019. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So 6 7 years. I mean, that's a pretty good
yeah.
window to perfect a craft, I guess. So.
Yeah, and if you are at that age, you're going to a lot of phases. You like this kind of music, and you get like that kind of music, and you go through and through and through, and you explore more like music that you like, and yeah, it's just a age thing, I think.
Right.
If
Okay.
you're 16, or now I'm 27, so I
Mhm.
think differently of the world, and I see some things differently, and yeah, the music taste is differently, but like the bands where you grew up with, uh that's still my favorite bands.
Right. And the world changes very rapidly too. So it
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
I don't think there's a, I think that probably gives most bands a lot of arsenal, a lot to put in their arsenal. So a lot of ammunition, I guess. So.
yeah, yeah. And if you get older, you understand more of the world and how things work.
Mhm.
And if you're 13, you don't understand shit. You got through some phases, and you drink your first beer, and it's all good. And
Yep.
now you're 27, and you have to make a living out of something, and you got to get some money. Yeah, you look at the world differently.
Yeah, most definitely. I just turned 51, so I've seen enough in my time to,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
get a good area of life.
I could write a book about them shit. It's and the thing
Yeah,
is like I've talked to older people and like You got people in their 80s and 90s now that talk about things, and you realize that, man, things have changed so much rapidly, and with my age, in the I'd say 45 years that I've been knowledgeable of things, you would think, oh well, gas was this price when I started driving at 16, and now it's like this. They were talking about things like that, and I said, yeah, but you're talking about a 50 or 60 cent increase over 50 years, where I'm talking about a $3 and $4 increase, and you know what I mean, 25,
Yeah,
30 years. So
yeah, yeah,
that's a big change, when
of
you think
course.
about how fast things starts changing, and then just and I guess it's probably a lot to do with the internet and stuff taking off in the 90s, and that kind of enhanced everybody's ability to do things. So, but yeah, so that's cool. I'll definitely check out some of that stuff on YouTube, just to get
Yeah,
an idea of kind of where you guys rooted from. So,
yeah,
and that was another question I was going to ask. I'm glad you kind of brought up the other guitar players. So I seen some pictures where you guys were a 5 piece at one time, and so I'm
yeah,
guessing y'all had like a dual guitar attack at one point, or
yeah. Yeah, we were like with 5 people, and uh, but if you 13 years old, things changes. So your music taste changes, your friends changes, your vision on the world changes. So it's just differently for. And if you get older, you're yeah. Some things went away and some things come back, and everything changes. So it's not like a bad thing, but yeah, we are happy with the 4 guys that we are now, and we just play and play and play, and they feel like brothers now.
cool. That's awesome. So, and just to kind of put this out there, I was talking about this in the album review, which I want to give a shout out to. It's Hard Life Promotions, I think, is the guys that were promoting your stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they kind of sent this in our email, and said, I guess the album came out in May. We use a pretty accurate site to get a lot of our albums from every week, but yeah, it was evidently it was something that wasn't there, or we just missed it. And he said, "Oh, this came out in May. I'd love to get a review on it." And I said, "Oh hell, I got some spare time." Like it was just so happened I was at the computer when it came across, and I was like, "Oh well, I'll go ahead and check it out." So I was like, "Oh, this is badass. I can't believe we kind of missed this." But I did want to give a shout out to Mike over at
of
Hard Life
course.
Promotions
Yeah,
for setting
yeah.
that up.
He he's
He's
doing
working
he's
he's
doing a
working
really
hard for you
great
guys.
job, and he get us around the world. Now I'm talking with you from America, and last week I talked to guys from Germany and from Spain and from France, and they came from everywhere.
Oh,
So
nice.
big love to Mike for fixing that kind of stuff for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like that's one of the things that we always talk about on the show too. How the European bands doesn't get as much love here as they should, because America's just I don't know, they're weird about the promoting like certain things, or whatnot. But I mean, to me, I think for the most part, the music in the metal industry from Europe is a lot better than here, in a lot of cases. I mean, there you got your Metallicas and Megadeths and stuff that are still around, but for the most part, anything newer comes out, it's a lot better from over in Europe. So
Yeah,
they definitely got a lot of it, and it's crazy how to think, because like I just took a trip to Ireland about a couple months ago, and I thought it was amazing how there was so much like so much to do, like with metal and stuff there, with in a small country. You know what I mean? Like it's like, man, they just do stuff all the time, and there's like a lot of bands in that little area, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy, because
yeah, yeah,
you know thinking about here, because we're so America's so big, it's kind of, we don't hear a lot about bands in other states and stuff, because you just don't hear about stuff because you're isolated to your own state, and there's so much going on within your state, you can't really break out into others. But I
yeah,
think it's awesome and I think they do a good job. I think everybody in our inbox does a great job of pushing their bands on their labels, which is great to see because we've all heard horror stories about that from the 80s and 90s. So so it's good to see that the labels are out there pushing for you guys. So
Yeah, yeah.
and that was one of the things I when I did the review, I noticed. Well, one thing was you. Uh, I kind of felt like that you could probably sing whatever you wanted to,
Yeah.
and I think when I was listening to this, I said, man, this dude could probably do Journey or any kind of thing. Like I feel like you had that kind of power there, but you're of course you're focusing on what you guys do, and it's great. It works perfect, I think. But I do feel like I was like, man, this guy could probably sing anything. Just hearing his little bits and pieces of stuff, and I was like, yeah, he could probably get out and do do karaoke with Journey or something like that. So
I love that. Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. So when I was really young, my dad told me just a lot of music, from David Bowie till Frank Zappa and everything in between that, and if it's like if it's just made out of instruments and no computers and that kind of bullshit, it's for me it's good, and I love to see the passion in different kind of music, and I've seen Bruce Springsteen like 14 times
oh
because
wow,
yeah, he's just the energy that guy has, that's unbeatable. And if you go to like a band like Kiss, there are explosions and fireworks, and everything has to be like Kiss. But if you
right,
go to a guy like Bruce Springsteen, it's just a guy with a fucking guitar, and he nails it.
mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love just being pure and uh, don't do one thing. And yeah, I really like to sing other kind of style of music. I really like Frank Sinatra, uh, and yeah, explore how your voice works for a lot of music styles.
Yes, we talk about this a lot on the show too. Is we talk about how a lot of metal bands they pull inspirations from maybe a band that you wouldn't consider metal.
Yeah,
Like we talk about how Neil Peart probably influenced 90% of the drummers in metal because from Rush, but uh, but it's a thing that a lot of people we get hounded about sometimes. They're just like, well, they're not metal. I'm like, well, we never said they were. We just said that these guys pull inspiration from that, or what it sounds like they do, because it kind of gives you hints of, oh, well, that sounds like the Who or something. It's kind of
yeah,
crazy to be like a modernized Who song or something is what it would something would sound like. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, it had to start somewhere, and it has to evolve from that point. So you know,
yeah,
we talk about Black Sabbath being the metal, the beginning of metal, but back then there was still a lot of rock, hard rock or southern rock bands around that were people were pulling influences from.
of course.
So but yeah,
But
and I'm
but
sure
yeah,
you guys have
if
a lot over there too. So
yeah, but if you have influences, it doesn't mean you have to sound like the
right,
influences. So,
exactly.
like Bruce Springsteen, the guy's always in the audience, connecting with the audience. Being in there, and that everybody has a great time, and not like a show kind of thing, but
Hmm.
do something spontaneously and go on with that. And I really like that. And he's a true inspiration because there are no explosions, there are no fireworks. There's just a dude with a band who plays amazing, and still at his age, it's unbeatable to get that energy from any other guy.
It is so for me. It's awesome to hear those things too, because when I grew up, it was kind of a rebellious thing. Kind of you say when you're 12 or 13 years old, you're rebelling, and you don't want to hear none of that other shit. You just want to jam out to all your. And then I grew up in the hair metal, kind of in the hair metal days. So everything was Cinderella and Kiss Molly Crew and all those bands, and it
Yeah.
was I didn't listen to nothing else. That's all I listened to most of the time. And I had a friend of mine that would he ran around with a little system in his car and played hip hop and stuff like that, and which I tolerated, but I didn't care for it. It was wasn't me. And now I'm at the point where I got grandkids that listen to stuff that I'm just like, come on, man, really? Like I got to get you guys in here, try this Metallica album or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah,
But you just like what you like. It's
yeah, yeah, of course. And it's just not only metal, you know. We grew up also with Kiss and ACDC, and then came Metallica across, and watched the show in Seattle, and I went crazy for that. I see those guys with also the energy. The energy is so important for me. Like bands like ACDC and Metallica and all those bands, you got bring energy, you know, and I really like that. I really like the energy in the music. And it's like if it's up tempo, it's okay, but you got to give the the energy to the people.
right. And that's another thing when you're talking about being out in the crowds. I see that very few bands do it, but I do see it where they'll, either the singer or the guitarist or somebody will jump out into the crowd. Especially if it's a smaller venue, and like they're not going to do it at a festival, of course. Well, I mean, I don't know, they might. I mean, I have seen some videos from over in Germany and stuff from Wacken and stuff where they'll jump out into the crowds, but I don't think I've seen it as much here. But yeah, I think that's pretty awesome because you bring the crowd. A crowd paid they paid a ticket to see you, but then you kind of
Oh,
make it personal by being right there with them and bringing them into the show, and it's and I think that just makes it more. I don't know. I think I guess I say they earn a lot more respect from me doing that. So
yeah, but it's just a thing when you go on when you buy a ticket you have to wait like for some of the bands you have to wait like for a whole year and yeah you bought it with money so and you going to the show but if
right,
there's a guy like stone drunk on the stage fucking hell man what's the why people paid for your tickets people go to see you and I think I do what I want to see. You know, I want to see a band go right into the people and uh, just being there at their best.
right. Unless and that I think I like when you say that too. It's like everybody kind of sees, and you take Metallica as an example because if you talk to people, Metallica was better in the '80s, and they don't really care for the '90s stuff. And then some group are saying no, the '90s are the best, and then you know, so it's kind of like you have those two different fan bases, but when you go to a concert, they're all together. So
Yep.
it's kind of, so it's like it's almost like shows that music brings you together even with your differences, you
Yep.
know. And I think that's the good thing about just
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
in general.
It just I liked so much that you can go to a band and there's nothing like I voted for this guy, I voted for that guy, I like this kind of and everybody came to see just one band and share their passion. Uh, I was like a month ago. I was in London to see Metallica over there, and yeah, I go to London. There's nobody who I recognize or I know, and but I keep on talking the whole fucking day to people that I don't know. But we should share the same passion for Metallica,
Right.
so it's just so easy to talk.
Yeah. And that's what I love about it too. Is like when you go to those things and you talk, nothing ever comes up about, you know, anything happening in the world or politics or anything like that. You're there talking about, oh man, I saw those guys in '94, and you start talking about old concerts and stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah, but
Which I think is
that's a great kind of thing because if we're gonna talk about politics, we never gonna be maybe
yeah,
friends
you're not gonna.
or if it's just yeah. I think the music solves problems and solves
Yeah.
like you know you got to keep
Right.
to keep together.
Well,
Yeah,
we always say on here, social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. So it's a
Yeah,
blessing we get to do things like this, but it's a curse when you have to sit and argue with somebody about something that really doesn't matter,
yeah,
because it's some of those things are going to happen, no matter our opinions.
yeah.
So it's kind of and that's the thing too. Is I think it's more of I don't know. I think it's more of a standard to just argue and fight about it than this. Because I remember back in the day when you argued about stuff like that, you would be like, "Well, that's your opinion, man. Shake hands, move on about your way." Now it's like, "Oh no, you're a fucking lunatic, and you're this and you're that." I'm like, damn, dude. Yeah, I honestly. I don't post a lot on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, but I do go on there just to read people arguing about. I was like, man, these people are just idiots. Like, why are you arguing over stuff?
There's so a lot of fucking idiots in this world right now, and uh, because they stop thinking, they keep the phone for everything. Go to the grocery store, oh, I need my phone. Go to there, go need my phone. Because some people don't think anymore. It's just what the phone says they're gonna do, like zombies brainwashed in a
No,
complicated world. Come on, man, keep growing up and be a man.
no.
Man up.
I said this a bunch of actually I made a post about it one time. I said, you spend all your time looking down and you never see the beautiful things that are above you.
Yeah,
And that's what I was talking about. People are always on their phone. Like I've had so many people just run like in the shopping or whatever. Just people run into my cart just because they're just sitting there on their phone.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, just get your stuff and get out, man. We don't. It's like why you got to be on it 24/7. It's like it's kind of crazy to me. But like I
That's
said,
not
I grew
life.
up in a different time too. So, I grew up in a different time, so I guess it's.
Yeah,
But seeing you're here, you know you said 27.
27 now. Yeah,
Yeah, so you're 27. So you're kind of seeing the same things. So it's not really a generational thing. It's a personal thing because if you're smart enough to have your own thoughts, you see these things. You know what I mean? So, and
yeah,
I think AI makes it worse too because AI puts stuff out there that's not real, and people buy into it, and they start reposting. I'm like, that shit ain't even real. Like all it takes is a simple search, and they'd be like, no, that's fake.
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
people don't take that time to research. They just, oh, look at that, share it.
yeah. And the older people don't get it. If you let them see like a video or something on Instagram with a dog and like how cute, but it's a fake fucking dog. It's not a
Right.
real dog, but they can see just
Hmm.
the things. Yeah, if I let my grandpa see a dog on Instagram, it's fake. He think it's real because he don't know if it can.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. Like I said, it's I think the problem is the problem isn't with all those things, and it's not with AI. It's the problem is with it's not controlled or contained. It's kind of gotten they kind of gave them a free for all to do what they want to do, and that's kind of where shit went wrong. So
Yeah,
without it being with rules set in place, this thing, I mean, it's just going to do what it wants to do. I mean, they've already had, people don't know because they don't read probably, but I've read several articles where, this Chinese company has had an AI that went rogue, and they've sent it to Google and Microsoft and whoever to try to get it back in line because they couldn't fix it. It's kind of just started doing its own thing and not listening to commands, and I said, okay, well, I mean, we've seen movies about this, I'm pretty sure. So it's like,
yeah, yeah, and
so.
like the war isn't actually a war anymore. Yeah, there are guys
Mhm.
fighting like now in Ukraine. There are guys fighting, but they're most like nerds on a computer pressing a button, and like a
Mhm.
million people dies. So
Yeah.
it's not a thing about fighting or something anymore. It's just like a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like the old movie War Games where they were just, you know, doing those type things. So yeah, I get that 100%. So,
Yeah,
but it's like a lot of times too that they keep saying the Iran war. I said, well, I mean, Iran, it's not really a war. It's been strategic strikes against Iran, and not really, it's not been a full out war. because
No,
no,
it's
there's
just a
no
game,
fighting
you know.
between. Yeah, yeah. It's it's almost like the what was it? What was it we was talking about? Like the board game Risk or something.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
where you,
yeah. Make your
it's like,
perfect move and you win.
uh, right.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Or even like more, kids nowadays would probably say like Magic the Gathering, where if you get that one or two sets of cards and then you win the game because you can't, nobody can do anything.
yeah.
So
And
it's
I
it's
think it's
it is.
there's
It's
no
kind of
any more feelings with that, you know. If you, all right, for example, if I need to shoot a guy, I will be shocked to shoot a guy, you know. But if I press a button and I don't care, I don't see anybody die. Well, what the fuck, man? I just pressed a
right,
button and like a million people dies. Oh, that's shitty for them. Yeah, fuck you, man. That's not how it's working.
right. Yeah, that's kind of yeah, that's not cool. Like it's
No,
definitely you definitely. I mean, you definitely got to have that in your back of your mind where people are still losing life.
yeah,
Over whatever your action that you just did.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it's
and
like
it's it's just like not everybody from Russia is just a dick. But there's a few
right.
people are like, for example, nowadays. Uh, not everybody is a dick, but they need to do that because otherwise they got killed, and
Hmm.
they got kids and wives also. So
Exactly.
it's from the upper hand, you know. It's just just fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally get that. So let's all right, I'm gonna try to swing back in here. So, so I kind of got off subject a little bit there, but that's okay. We've kind of like talking about the AI thing. It also is went into movies and music and everything else now too, which is kind of fucked up because now I actually had the first time I got fooled with stuff was a few months ago. There was this band and they had this YouTube video. I was like, cool, man. This is bad. I listened to it. I said, oh, this is badass, dude. And the video looked so fucking real. Like it wasn't like you didn't see the 10 fingers and shit like you usually do in the pictures. And I'm just like, dude, this is badass. And then I realized like it is an actual band, and it is they and all the I guess like the characters were based off of the band, but it was just a one person band doing like that was their imagination for the band, I guess,
Yeah.
pretty much. But it was a lady, and it was a all female band. And from what I've told, what I've been hearing is like they actually took off and started trying to put a band together from that. So that's good if they're doing it that way, to where they're trying to say, oh, well, people are interested in this. Maybe I should do something further. And then, I mean, to me, it's kind of goes back to Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. When I grew up, when we first heard that, we're just like, and bought the album and opened it up, and it says Nine Inch Nails is Trent Reznor, and that was it. He did it all on a computer. So we're just like, what the fuck? How did he do all? And then of course when he started touring, he had to get a band together because he couldn't do it all, you know, on the computer when he was touring. And then I think it's a whole ordeal now, but I'm just saying like that's kind of where it started to where it's at, and that's kind of like with the same thing with the AI thing. Is they have an idea, they put it together, and now they're like, okay, this is taking off, so now we got to do something. But I think that's the problem though, is because a lot of people are going to get involved with these AI music and AI stuff, and then there's never going to be any live shows because AI can't go do a live show. I mean, it's like, you know,
Well, and if they could do a live show, there's no feeling. You know,
right, right,
there's no like interaction with people. There's no like the energy is not there. Just can't make that like passion, you know. I've got passion for
hmm,
music, and I need to let it out, and when I'm on a stage I let it out, all my anger, all my passion, all my creativity in songs. You let it out, and that's a kind of sort of energy you can't do that with AI or
right.
anybody, a robot or something. It's just you need a human to do that kind of music and to make it real.
because you got more emotion involved, and you got
Yeah.
reasoning involved. That AI can't really do. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get that 100%. And I'm the kind of person where I'd rather go see a concert where there's maybe 1,500 2,000 people at the most, because I feel like it's more personal that way, I guess. And then there's of course, there's a better chance to meet the band at that, at those venues too. So it's always good to do that. But yeah, of course, I go to festivals. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying you don't get that at a festival because you're in there with 70,000 people, and or if you're at like a football stadium watching a concert and you're in the nosebleeds, I don't feel like you're getting any kind of connection that way because you're so far off. It's just if
Yeah.
I'm in sight distance, and I can see everything like it's pretty, I don't have to like get binoculars out to see them move or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And that's what I like about the Metallica tour for the 72 seasons, because they're right
mhm.
in the middle. And I see like
Right.
now I'm 6 times on this tour, and
Oh, nice.
all the way in the front of the stage. And but it's okay. You are in a stadium or in an arena, and there are 80,000 people, but they make it so small because they're right in front of you because the stage is in the
Hmm.
middle, and
Yeah.
the sound is much better because it can wave. It can go wave back, and the sound is good, and they are in the people, and that's what I like.
Hmm.
Like the last time I see Metallica in London, James Hetfield was right in front of me. So, and that you
Oh,
need,
nice.
yeah, yeah, that you need to experience one time in your life uh, when you have a favorite band, and the guy is in front of you. It's just special feeling. And if you play in a arena or a stadium, it's okay, but they're so far away. There's no feeling about that. But when the
Mhm.
stage is in the middle, man, that guy is of Jesus. It's a really great experience.
Yeah, I didn't. I seen them in 17 on the Hardwired tours last time I seen them, but it was they were doing stadium tours then too, and I think they were at the new Atlanta Braves baseball stadium. It had just been built at that time, so they were there, but it wasn't like what you're talking about. They weren't in the middle or anything, which it'd been great if they were, but yeah, I agree with that because I remember I want to say Def Leppard kind of started that stuff back in the '80s because they had what they called in the round, and they had like a horseshoe type stage where he could go, out, and they had people in the middle too of the horseshoe. So it was it's kind of similar to what you're talking about. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would love to see Matagi, and I just have so much else. I had so much else going on that I couldn't afford that. And cause like I said, I just went to Ireland, so I dropped a lot of money trying to do that. So it was
yeah,
going to any big name concerts was probably out of the picture for a little bit. So
yeah, of
which
course. But yeah,
which
just
seeing Metallica and Pantera on the same stage would have been like I would my 15-year-old self would have been like, holy shit.
yeah, and Gojira also. It's just
Oh yeah, yeah.
what a lineup. It's just well, when I think about it, I got goosebumps all over my arms again, because it was just so special, and seeing those bands rocking out, and especially at this age, it's my life is all about it. And I, I I go to every show that I think it's important for me, because the guys live now. Maybe it's in 10 years they don't play anymore, or some guys are dead, or going to the show now is so important for me for inspiration, but also it's my life. Music is
Hmm.
my life, and then you go to that kind of things.
Well, as an artist too, you may something they do may trigger something for you, and you be like, oh shit, this is what I can do out of that on our shows, and make it
Of course.
make your shows unique. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's I mean, it's always good to get inspiration. Like I said, that's another inspirational thing where you go to a show and be like, oh, dude, I, that's pretty cool. But if they did this, oh well, hell, why am I saying that? I can do that. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
so.
but
So yeah,
don't copy paste that. Be
exactly,
yourself. And
exactly.
but the greatest thing is about going to shows not from learn to them, but for not doing like things they. I went to see a Guns N' Roses show, and I was like, okay, if I'm at that age and I sound like this, man, shoot me. I'm never gonna play any more shows again.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I've
learn,
heard he's a little rough these days.
yeah, yeah, and learn from things not to do.
I've
And
seen him. I've seen him in 2021, I think 21 or 22, 21 or 22, and I thought he sounded pretty good then. Of course, I know he's kind of. I've heard some stuff recently where I'm just like, oh, he didn't sound like that when I see him. Thank God, but
like the ACDC concerts damaged his voice so much that he can't sing anymore.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's horrible, dude. Yeah, it was what's crazy with the people that don't realize that Brian Johnson had changed his voice for ACDC. He didn't
yeah,
ever sing like that before, and
no,
it's because Bon Scott had had that sound going for those several years, and they like, hey, this is our sound, dude. We got you know,
yeah, and it's
and
just it's high pitched. Go,
yeah,
like everybody get a it's ACDC, but man, the guys put some effort in the music. There's some people overreact to that. Just play four beats for the whole
hmm
show. Uh, no drummer can do that. I
yeah.
I I,
I
I
think that
really I really think so because okay, it might be simple, but play 4/4 just a normal beat for 45 minutes, and we talk then again.
I think the funniest thing to me about ACDC is I remember somebody interviewing Angus Young, and he says, "What do you have to say to people that say you've made 16 albums that say the same, that sound the same?" And he says, "I think that's a lie. We've made 17 albums that sound the same."
Yeah,
It's like, so I mean, if you can't go along, they go along with the stuff. It's funny. I think that's even to me that's more funny to me that the bands kind of realize it and then they just go along with it. Like, yeah, whatever, dude.
yeah,
It's
but
like
it it works.
you're
So
yeah,
every
you're
ACDC
selling
album, there are
records.
great songs on there because okay, if
hmm
you, it might be the same, but write 17 albums in the same style.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
gonna be fucking hard.
you you made a living out of it, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's
Look at this guy's bank account.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not about the money, but it's it helps.
Well, exactly. I mean, well, I know you probably have a 9 to 5. Do you want, you would rather play music than to do that the rest of your life? I'm sure,
Of course,
and yeah, just like I had been involved in some side projects in my time, and I would have rather, made a living out of doing that. It just didn't work out. So it's kind of like you go with, I kind of fell into this, 6 years ago. We kind of fell into podcasting, and so we kind of, this is kind of what we do is we've taken bands that people may not have heard of or that we may not know that much, and we try to get to know them and try to get more people, our fan base to try to know them, and maybe they get new fans, we get new fans. Your fans come to us, our fans go to you. That's kind of what we're hoping.
of course.
Happens. Is they kind of feed each other because that just helps in the long run. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know what your chances of you guys ever coming to the states may be, but I mean, you got a long career ahead of you, so I'm pretty sure you'll make it here at some point.
I
Uh,
hope so. I love to.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
you guys are still in your 20s, so I think you got a pretty good chance of making it happen. So,
yeah, my bags are packed. Let's go.
it's I did notice like whenever kind of going back to the band, like whenever I talked about your vocals being a little bit I guess held back sometimes because I'm like, yeah, he could hit some high notes. I can tell he could hit some high notes if he wanted to, but like I said, when you're doing a style that you guys are doing, there really isn't no sense in doing those because you're kind of I kind of heard more like a thrash band with some groove elements. If so, that's kind of I kind of heard of a mix of maybe Metallica, Megadeth, and then some Lamb of God or something like that sprinkled in. And I was like, I don't know if I've ever kind of heard that before. Maybe I have, I just don't remember. But it was really kind of unique to me, and I thought, man, this really does work. I like this. And there's been a lot of crossover stuff with subgenres of metal that people have deathcore and they do all this other crossover stuff that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and but we all listen to things differently. We all hear things differently, so you can't. That's my opinion. So
Yeah,
it's.
yeah.
But I
You
also wanted.
just they ask us what genre is it. Yeah, we just do what we like and what we think it's okay to do. And it's just not a, yeah, it's like trashy kind of things, but there's also just a little bit of death metal in there.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we got a little like black metal surprises. And yeah, we just don't like one style of music. And we're
Right.
with four guys, so four different opinions, four different kind of music. And well, it's just came out for us that how we want it to be, and it's just for us. It's like really great feeling that we put a record out that we stand behind that. That it's okay to mix those styles and make one of kind of music that's not there yet. And yeah, of course, you get some glimpse out of the '80s, and you got some newer stuff like '90s feeling, but also like newer metal bands like a breakdown or something to put in there. And yeah, just do what we like, and there are no rules.
Well, I mean, that's the whole beauty of metal is no rules.
Yeah, there's
I think that's always.
just a few rules in the band, so don't get fucked up while you have to play because of the audience, and get your shit together. Be on time and have your shit together when we go to rehearsal space and like that kind of stuff. And otherwise, there are no rules.
So speaking of this, like I said, I wanted to give props to Kloss too, man. Like that dude, like you guys found a gem in him. Let me tell you that guy's a beast on that guitar, man. Like we have discovered so many like underrated guitarists on this podcast. It's I would put any of these guys up against anybody that says they're the best. You know, uh,
Yeah,
you know
and
because
he's so down to earth with that. Yeah, yeah. I can play guitar, and yeah. And but when we are in rehearsal space, and the guy puts up like a riff. Oh man, we got to record that shit. Oh well, we got 15 more of those, so relax. But every time he puts on a guitar, plugs it to an amplifier, and plays just I when we just do a sound check, he plays Battery from Metallica, and
oh nice.
when he plays that, the sound and the energy, and I can't get more happier than that. It's
Yeah.
just great, and
The,
for him, it's also great that we got just one guitar player because the space is
mhm,
there for him, and also
yeah.
for Wiebe, our bassist. He's got the space to be a bassist and not to be like a third guitar player in the back and you don't hear him.
And that was one thing that I liked about you guys too, because I think that I used to play bass. I still have one, but I haven't picked it up in a long time. But I think that's the thing about bass guitars is like if you're not listening for a bass guitar, you probably won't hear a bass guitar.
No.
And like with there was two songs that I noticed. I think I noted on here. It was "Selfish" and "Shadows." Both of those songs that I could hear that bass line in there, you know, practically without having to listen for it. I said, I mean, I said that's cool. I can hear that bass line, and I'm not even listening for it. It's like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think a lot, not many bands can pull that off either. I think there's a lot of times we talk about this when we try to pick out highlights of the album, and we're like, yeah, I wish we could have heard the bass a little more, or I felt like the guitarist was drowning out most of it, or the drums kind of are set the tone, and it didn't feel like the other instruments were kind of keeping up with the tone. It's always something in there that kind of, and it's just minute. It's not really like anything to make me say, "Oh, well, I won't listen to the album." It was just so just kind of, it's pretty much kind of like nitpicking things, where we're just like, could have been better. But I like the album. I just could have, would have liked to see a little bit more here. I couldn't pick out anything where I thought this record could have been any better. I think you guys have pretty much. I think for if anything else, you've got your work cut out for you to try to make something better as a follow up. so,
Yeah, that's kind of the hard thing. That we are now in a rehearsal space, writing some new songs, writing some new riffs, uh, but it has to be like even on this album or better than that. And if we don't like it, we wrote like 5 songs, but we hated it afterwards, so we don't put it out. Yeah, we have to
yeah,
stand behind every song and everything we do. So yeah.
I'll make sure I didn't spell this wrong. Just a second. I was trying to. Yeah, this. I was trying to find the song. There's. I think I spelled it wrong, but I'm trying to go back and look and make sure. No, I didn't. No, that's right. Okay, the Penumbra song.
Yeah.
Is pretty. Is the instrumental,
Yeah.
and like. Uh, so let me say this. The instrumental was so good, I didn't even realize I was listening to an instrumental. Okay,
Thank you,
I
man.
was just I was just like, wait, was that an instrumental? I'm like,
Yeah.
I had to go back and I had to go back and listen. I was like, this was an instrumental. This is great. Like
Yeah.
you know, to me, it's I think instrumentals are better than just having like intros. Because I feel like if you want to do an intro, great. I mean, if it goes in with the song that's coming up afterward, that's awesome. But I feel like sometimes people just throw that on there, like a 45-second intro or something, and then you're like, okay, what was that all about?
Yeah.
But I like with when I get to like an instrumental, a full on instrumental like this one was 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes long. It's kind of like, wow, you just kind of get lost in what you guys are playing, and it doesn't, you just don't even realize that, oh, wait a minute, there was no lyrics to that. It's so yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a really good job with that too. So
Thank you. Yeah. Keep this space. We had nothing in mind to write an instrumental song or for a filler. For the album. That's not the case. But does it need lyrics? No. Just put it on like this. And yeah, we like bands kind of like Tool. Gojira has some long, like no lyric kind of songs,
yep.
and we like that because the music on itself stands for it.
Well, if and this is one thing I pointed out too, when you go back and look at the album as a whole, it kind of brings you back to the early '80s thrash albums where there was just like 7 or 8 songs and then an instrumental, and it just kind of like goes back to that. And people will always complain about, well, there's instrumental. I'm like, dude, it's been this way since the '80s. Like, thrash guys always throw instrumentals in their records. It's like, I mean, you can't even like go back and Cliff Burton, did a bass instrumental for God's sake in a Metallica record. So it's kind of
Yeah, yeah,
it's
and also on the first album. But if
yeah,
you got,
exactly, yeah.
if you got like songs of Orion or something like that of Call of
Mhm.
Cthulhu, it's just wow. It's just like it's space. It's space for the album, and also space to make other songs stand more out of it. For
Mhm.
like for a vocal kind of thing. And if you got a if you got an instrumental song, it's just yeah, for the space on the album,
Mhm.
and also for like different kind of sound to the album.
Yeah, I just like the fact that you can feel it. You know what I mean? If you're you can just close your eyes and just feel the instrumental like hit your soul, man. It's so awesome. Like I don't like. I guess I can't like pinpoint that many instrumentals. Like of course the ones you called out, and of course Megadeth did a couple that are pretty fucking amazing. So it's it's definitely like I've been a repetitive thing throughout the years with metal bands in general. I mean, not just thrash bands. I mean, there's been other bands to do those kind of things. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
it's
I'm
just
now
like
like at the age that I understand Tool like in their music kind of whole thingy, and I really love that because they're also space. Just one guitar, uh, putting up a riff for like maybe like a minute, just one riff banging on that, and it keeps just a space, and then the drums comes in, and then the vocal comes in, and then the bass comes in, and it's wow, it's just space. And if you listen to a band like Lorna Shore or something, there's just for me it's there's just no space because every kind of bit there's in the song there's a musical instrument that's played for like yeah, how many kinds of beats per minute. I don't know that, but there's no
yeah.
space, so it's just same, I think.
Yeah, and then, like I said, you kind of get. I think a lot of times, like I even heard a Devil Driver when they put out their Dealing with Demons Part Two album. There were some songs in there that when they started playing it, I said, "Well, damn, that sounds like Wishing," and then it wasn't. Saying like so, it's kind of like they regurgitated some riffs and just changed up a little bit, just enough to where it made a different song. And I was just like, well, I mean, because you can't get, like I said, you can't get mad about it because we sat there just talked about ACDC doing it for so many albums, but it's kind of odd to see bands do that anymore, to try to like just you know regurgitate certain things. I have heard of bands being like, oh yeah, we had this riff from like 6 years ago, and it just never fit anywhere until now, So it's just kind of like crazy of how because I'm sitting there thinking, man, if I had that sitting on something for 6 years, I'd have lost it somewhere. Because
Yeah,
so to hang on to it for that long is a feat in itself, I guess.
yeah,
But and I did make a point to where I thought that every song on this album I felt like could have been a standalone single for you guys. Like no matter what you picked, I don't think you could have went wrong with whatever you wanted to have that as a standalone single. So it's
thank you for
actually been one of my highest. It's actually been one of my higher rated albums this year too. So I'm kind of glad that it didn't slip through the cracks, and Mike was on top of it, going, "Hey man, it's like
yeah,
don't forget
yeah,
us." so,
yeah. Mike's just really awesome
so
to get us there, and uh, he said, the album needs more listeners. The album needs more people to know about, and we're gonna try our best to do that. And he's done a great job, and he also do a great job. Still, after all these months that it's out, he's still doing. He's fighting for it, and yeah, I really like that he does that. There are people who are passionate about our music, and uh, like for yeah, man, you need to play. It's your thing.
now, have you guys gotten to do any live shows from since the album came out yet, or
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, we played a few festivals. We did an album release show.
okay, cool.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
So you got anything future going for shows or?
Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. We play like next Friday, next Saturday, and it goes on and on.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome too that you guys have some shows lined up afterward. A lot of times, especially over there, I noticed. I think Italy's been kind of one of the worst ones that I've heard of. That they say, well, when we if we play, we have to go outside of the country because
yeah.
Italy's not. They don't have many metal venues. I'm just like, wow, you
No.
would think with bands like Lacuna Coil and stuff like that coming from there, there would be there would be venues, but evidently, we've talked to three different Italian bands that said the same thing. So it's kind of like, well, I mean, they would
There's
know they're there. So
there's just nothing. I talked to the bassist of Delane, you know, the Dutch band Delane,
yeah,
and
Delane, yeah.
he Ludo is from Italy, and
Mm-hmm.
just he has other bands like Sons of the Suns is a great band from him, and they are all from Italy. And well, we hooked up with those guys, and they played around here and played in Germany. And we said, well, why can't we go to Italy? And he said, yeah, there's just no room. There's just
Mm-hmm.
no venue for that.
Yeah, and I think the one of the bands were talking about how there's so many bands there, and there's only like 3 or 4 venues. So if you don't get in there and book it way in advance, you just can't. You hardly can't get in there. So
Yeah,
which is which is wild,
yeah.
but seem like they would fix that, seeing as there's a need for it. Obviously, I mean, I guess they just don't care. I don't know. The country's like, oh, what's it got to do with us? I guess, but I mean, it's tax. It's it's money. I don't know how that works there, like it does here. I know, like for here, they'd be like, oh, that's tax money. Let them come on, So,
Yeah,
so,
that's a different
but
kind of
so, and I'm sure it's
it is a different kind of thing over there. I don't know how they do it, but I hope they got a few shows over there and make also dead people happy, because if there's not a lot of venues, there's not lots of bands that can play. So
right.
if there's a band playing, I think it's going to be busy over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing like here that we've noticed lately is just the visa thing. Like, for some reason there's been like so much crap with visas with bands trying to get visas to come play in the states and stuff like, which is stupid to me. I don't understand that, but it's like, hey, I'm just playing that thing for 6 weeks. I'm coming back home. Like, just give me my shit so I can go play and come back. Like, I don't want to stay here. It's like
Yeah.
it's it's just wild to me. And we even like we talked to a band, Hidden Intent, from Australia. They actually did some shows here in the states, and they were close by. We went and seen those guys, and he was talking about, the lead singer Chris was talking about how they had he had put in his request for his stuff like 6 months in advance, and because he already knew about the tour, he said, as soon as I knew about the tour, I put in for my visa. He said, well, 3 months from the tour came, I hadn't heard anything, so I was like, hey, what's going on with the visa? He said, oh yeah, we're processing it, we're processing it. Well, 2 weeks from the tour came, he still hasn't gotten it. And he's like, look, I got to get this done. I'm going on tour. I did it 6 months ago. What's the holdup? And he said, well, you can pay this much money extra and put an express on it. And he says, oh, of course I can. Like, you want extra. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things where we're just like, man, it's just crazy to have to wait that long, and then you still don't process it properly for him to get over here to play. That's just unreal to me. But
Yeah, it's just fucked up
let's see.
to hear that bands are like, they have to wait that long, and it's all about the money,
I wanted to talk about this a little bit. This is the album cover. Like, is there who was the artist on this deal here?
Well, that's Thomas, and Thomas is also writing for Hyrex. He's drawing albums from Hyrex, and maybe he's done something with Possessed.
Oh, okay. So he's got kind of a little reputation.
Yeah, yeah, he's a busy man.
I do like the kind of the pit and the pendulum type thing here. I know I used to read all those when I was in school, so that kind of reminded me of the pit and the pendulum there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like I think it's different too because we've been seeing a lot of not as much as blue and yellow. So I think that's kind of cool too. There's we're seeing different colors kind of like
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason here lately the oranges and stuff are popular. So
yeah. The inspiration from the blue stands out from the KSAD record from Sepultura. Uh,
oh yeah, okay.
because also blue and it got yellow tones in it also. So we really like that album and yeah, got the inspiration to do that color.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, man. Like I said, album covers. Also, you can also say that the with metal album covers, man. I don't think there's any genre in the world that does album covers better than metal. So
Yeah. Yeah, and they're so outstanding, and timeless. If you got a Rest in Peace from Megadeth, also Blue album, but it's so
mhm.
outstanding. You look at the album cover and you you knew what music it is. Like the album cover from Cannibal Corpse, for example. You knew, oh holy shit, man, there's some fucked up shit over there, and the music
yeah,
is just like the album cover, and I really like that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no I guess affront or anything with Cannibal Corpse. You know what you're kind of getting. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. But if you don't know the band and you just watch the album cover, you know what kind of music you can expect.
So what kind of inspiration was for the title of the album "We Fight Back"? Was that like musical or was it political or was it what was kind of the inspiration for the title of the
Well,
album?
we had some bad times personally and in the band also, and well, our last thing we did was the EP, which came out in 2019, and okay, and we were with five guys, and now we're with four guys. So there was a kind of thing, and put so much responsibility on Klaas, who plays the guitar. So there were two guitar players, and now Klaas has to do it on his own. So it's big responsibility, and keep do their heads together, and yeah, we are still here. We fight back.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was great. I like the exclamation point on the end. Just gives it that you know what I mean. It gives it that extra oomph, I guess. So, I thought that was pretty cool. But so you said you guys are working on other stuff already. So what kind of y'all kind of got an idea of a timeline? Y'all want to have something new?
So we hope the new records is out in 27, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, get back to back. Get stay fresh on everybody's mind that way. So I think that was one of the things that one another band was telling me. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're called Extinction AD, and they're here in the states in upstate New York. And Rick's been on the show several times, and that's one of the things he always says. He's like, "Yeah, man, we got an EP and a full length coming out this year." And then he's like, "And we're going to work on the next full length for next year." And just like, dude, like
Yeah.
I don't, do you sleep at all? Like, do you sleep? Or it was like he's like, "No, man, you can't sleep. You got to stay on the radar, man. You got to stay on the
Yeah,
radar." So,
and
uh,
that's just not, we don't do it for any money, or we don't do it for hey, look at us, man, we are great, and we just do what we like to do, and if anybody else thinks it's great, we love that. but it's not kind of we must do this and we must do that. We just do what we like.
Right, and it's like the old saying kind of goes. It's like when you're having having fun and enjoying what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? It's because you're actually doing something you like to do. Like
Yeah,
we always think, well, a 9 to 5 job is not something that anybody wants to clock in and out to do. You got to find your
passion.
talent and try to do something. Yeah, there you go. You find your passion and try to make
Yeah,
a living that way. So,
yeah,
and like I said,
it's
the music business is hard, man. It really is. And like I said,
of course,
it's
of
and I've
course.
seen a lot of so I've seen a lot of bands grow from this show though. So just saying, not that we had anything to do with it. I'm just saying I've seen a lot of bands like, it. Matter of fact, it'd probably be harder for me now to say, hey, can you come on the show than it did, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
So it's very to us it's awesome because if we see Atmoran 5 years from now playing Whack-In or something, something like that, we're gonna be like, damn, dude, I remember when they were on the show. It's like, it's,
well, you always can
uh,
call me, man.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like I said, we always say on here if we do this, and you guys have anything that comes up that we're not aware of or we miss, say, hey man, I got this coming up. Can we come like on the show? Absolutely, dude. Like we can pretty much plan around anything. We don't we try not to plan too far ahead because sometimes things change and then get mixed up, and so we try to stay like a 2 week out kind of thing. We try to, especially when we're playing in bands, we try to stay. Now, a while back, we had so much going on that we had some bands that we had reached out to like months ago and we hadn't heard anything, and then like we had booked 2 other bands, and then this other band's like, oh hey, just want to let you know we got some free time now. I'm like, well shit, it's like, so now we're like we had like 4 bands back to back to back, and I was just like, man, I was nervous, dude. I'm just like, oh man, I don't. Hopefully nothing pops up and they have to cancel. It's like it's like because with music it can change very fast. You never know when your manager or your label will say, hey man, we got this opportunity, you guys want to play this show, and you're like, oh hell yeah, and then it's like, hey man, sorry, but we understand that, like we're kind of like, all right, cool man, I'm glad you got a gig, you know what I'm saying, like I'd rather you go out make some money off that gig than to be on here and and not do, just shooting the shit with us, but because that's we know how the life is, and we know that you guys have make most of your money, selling merch and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so speaking of that, go ahead.
There's just no money.
Yeah.
Life is so expensive nowadays. You can. All right, we do a lot of free ticket shows because we like to. Everybody is welcome at our shows, and if you got nowadays like 3 kids and you're like having a wife and the wife is sick maybe or you're yourself sick and you can't work and you got just a little bit of money and you can't go to shows but that is your favorite hobby, so I can imagine not to go to a show. So everybody is welcome, and we play free shows also because uh, we need to have the people around. It's just for the people. It's just for fun. It's just music keeps people together, brings emotions, and do that kind of shit. If you have to pay tickets for like 40 years. That's a lot of money for some household,
hmm Yeah, my daughter always kids. She goes, "When you die, I'm just gonna sell all your concert tees. That should pay for your funeral." So I said, "You're
Yeah.
probably right."
Yeah.
Uh, so, so is there? So I'm a CD or vinyl guy. So is there hard copies of this album to pick up somewhere? Or?
Yeah, you can order it at our email and just go to our socials and send us just a message. And we have like the We Fight Back album is on black vinyl and all hand numbers.
Oh,
And
nice.
also we have just I think we have got 20 left, There was a limited edition of 100, and it's blue vinyl, blue splatter vinyl.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and
that'd be nice.
we got a few CDs, and we got shirts, we got patches, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got everything. You, if you like our band, man, keep on to get a good work. Send us a message, and yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna reach out and get some stuff from you guys. So yes, I think
Thank you.
the blue splatter sounds like it's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
maybe
and
I can
I
catch that
just
before it
I
sells out.
had 100, so there are 100 limited, and I just got maybe 15, 20 left.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Got to hop on that then.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Freight Man, I don't want to take no more of your time. I know it's evening over there, so you trying to wind down, and I'm about to get my day started. So it's
Yeah, getting
kind
off
of
of work, I said to my boss, I get to go home early, man. I got an interview going.
well, hey, that's always a good thing too. It's a reason to take off early.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And he
Uh,
has to accept that because I'm going to leave also.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I say, "Well, I'm still leaving," no
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what. So
Goodbye.
uh, yeah, that's what I tell them at well, my work too. They're just like, "Hey, can you?" I'm like, "Nope." They as soon as that "can you" comes out, I say, "Nope." No. I clock out at 10:30. I'm gone. I'm gone at 10:30. So I'm like the last resort whenever they call anybody to try to work for somebody else because I'm just like, dude, I did the two jobs things when I was younger. And shit. I don't care nothing about doing that shit no more, dude. I got too much going on in my personal life to have it swallowed up with work. I do what I'm supposed to do and then I move on. So
Yeah. Yeah, but you just
uh,
if you play in a band, it's awesome, and but it's what people forget if you like play a big festival or something. That, oh, you guys made a lot of money today, and this and that. Uh, Keep the crap. There's no just no money. We are happy if there's some drinks and some food. And
mhm.
we just play for fun because we like to play, and that's our passion, and that's what we like to do.
I remember not long ago we talked to a band on here, and they were saying that yeah, man, we did this show and they handed us like $300, and I was like, what? Are we sure this is right? And they were just like, we've never gotten paid like that, so we just like, oh, say, hell, this is nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, well, those times do happen, so.
yeah.
And just be grateful that the venue didn't take 20% of that, I guess. So, uh, it's a good deal. So we fight back out everywhere. So it's on Spotify, but is it on other platforms too, like Pandora and Amazon Music and all that too?
Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube. It's on everything. Keep
Yeah.
spreading the album with all your friends, and if you like it, put a thumbs up and follow us on the social media path and help us to grow and do things what we like.
Oh yeah. I definitely I need to go over and like you guys on YouTube too. I got you everywhere else, but I forgot about YouTube, so I need to go over there and do that. So, so yeah, awesome. We Fight Back's out, so you have no excuse not to listen to it. It's a excellent album. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this when our end of the year review too. So I'm sure it's going to be in the list there somewhere. So
Thank
some
you for
good
that,
stuff,
man.
man.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
hell yeah, man.
supporting, and yeah,
Well, we got to thank Mike for
yeah. Of course, yeah, yeah. Mike's here.
he he had to put it in my face at that right moment. I probably would have missed this thing altogether, and I'd have been kicking myself next year when I found out. Oh, did you see this album? I'm like, no, so I'm glad I caught it before it was too far out. I mean, still it was released in May and this is August, so I'm still kind of hurt that I didn't get to hear it when it first came out,
It's all
but it's all
okay. It just need time, and it's just a time thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, we get a list, and there's probably like 40 or 50 albums on that list every week. So it's kind of like picking out, what we want to listen. We usually just pick it out blind by something that sounds cool, or oh, that sounds pretty cool, or or we
Yeah,
may have heard of a band but we haven't really dug into the band, kind of thing. It's like, well, we've heard of this band before. I like that song, so yeah, we'll check out this album.
yeah,
So
yeah. We're
it's
just lucky that it's gonna be like that. That is just this kind of attention to the album, and we're just very lucky to talk with you guys and talk with the rest of the world. And we hope to come to America once and play some shows and all around the world. Just play. That's a kind of thing.
well, if they try to book you guys in the Nashville area, just hit us up. We know a lot of venues here, so.
Well, hit us up, and we're gonna be there.
Frank, man, I appreciate it. All the best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
We'll do our best to get you in front of many people as we can over here. So,
Thank you very much. It's
all right,
awesome.
man. All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
For the band Atmoran, Dutch metal band. If you haven't, like you said, we were talking about the album a little bit there. We fight back. Check that out. He said it's pretty much on every streaming service you could think of. And then if you follow them on their socials and get a hard copy, that's what I plan on doing because I like having stuff in hand. I still have an old car with a CD player, so the newer car doesn't have one, but the older car does. So I put all the CDs in the older car. Uh, all right, so wrap this thing up here. Get my well, thing back. Where'd he go? There we go. All right. I noticed, if you didn't notice, Chris was absent today. He had some other things going on, so it was kind of a solo interview today, but that's okay. We got through it. Learned a lot about Atmoran, and hopefully those guys have a successful and long career ahead of them. Being under 30 and having this much attention is probably a good thing. We hope. So definitely. Like I said, definitely one of my top 10 albums for sure right now. I mean, probably top five. It's a beast of an album, man, and especially for a debut, man. I'm sure they're proud of it, and they should be. It's like I said, it's very, very well done, very well put together. So check it out. Tell us what you think. And you can do that by following us on our socials over at the Facebook page, Facebook group. Facebook group is private, so you have to request a membership for that. Facebook page is public, so you can look at that post on there. X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also check out our past band interviews and all of our playlists on Spotify. And then you can also email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview, and hopefully we'll be back next week. Right now, it looks like we're going to be doing a regular show. We do have been conversating back and forth trying to get a date set for another band. Just not sure if that's going to go into September or not. We're still trying to figure that part out. So hopefully we'll learn something here in the next few days. So that's where you follow us on our socials to find that stuff out. Because if anything changes, we will post there. Start advertising or start promoting for band interview on Monday or Tuesday. If we usually we'd like to know something by then. If we don't, then it can be a little later in the week. But like I said, as of right now, it looks like a regular show. So hopefully by then it'll be probably be Friday night at regular scheduled time, 10 p.m. And Chris will probably be back with us then. So for Chris, Toronto Joe, I'm the Cornbread Metalhead Jason Tucker. Until next week,